Hey guys, here we are in Manchog Pond. This is a new pond for me. Never actually even heard of it. One of my regular go-to ponds, Whiten's Pond, is that way, right behind me. Maybe 4 miles. And I didn't know that this 370-acre pond is here with really big fish. In fact, you want to know how I know there are big fish here? Unfortunately, we've got this, I'd say 3.5 to 4 pounder sitting right here, unfortunately. But there's big fish here. Let me see if I can get one. Oh man, well, we got a bite, and it was really close to the boat. Tried to pull it out and barely ducked from getting hooked myself. We've been fishing for about 10 minutes now, and that was our first bite. We're not far from the boat ramp. There's a couple coves in here, and this is one of them. The other one's that way. This is a very, very large pond, and it's definitely lake size. To our right is actually where the opening to the lake is, and we can actually see the other side from here at least. Is that? Okay, that's grass, right? Just heard a blow up over there to our left. I do have a topwater with me. Even though we've never been to this pond before, I did look up and see what I could figure out. And I actually have my topwater duck, because it hasn't been since 1989, but they stocked this pond with pike once upon a time. And it states that people are still catching them from the last time they stocked them in 1989. So I'd like to see if I can catch one. A buddy of mine yesterday, I'm not sure it was here, but he does live somewhere around here, caught a 7-pound, I think it was 14-ounce pike yesterday. I think it's huge. I didn't see it, I just saw the pictures. It's not very deep here. And it's not a fish. Is it grass? I mean, we're just stuck. If that's a fish, it's freaking huge and just like, hey, we're not doing anything but sitting here. Yeah, we just stopped. I don't see like any rocks or anything here. It's all, well, it looks like a big pipe, maybe. There's a huge hump, almost concrete right there. I guess you were caught on one of the edges of it. And it also appears like we have, oh no, that's just a little vegetation. I thought we had a little bit of fishing line on here. There goes the ducks. I definitely woke them up. How do you think they would react if I started throwing my duck lure near them? Yeah, we're leaving crankbait territory and heading into chatterbait territory. I do have a chatterbait with me, but since I got a bite on this, there's more ducks over there apparently. I didn't even see them. But since I got a bite on this, I'd like to see if anybody else is willing. So, time to turn around. I have. Now I gotta say all the time in the world, because there is actually more storms coming, it looks like. Conditions here, we're in the 70s air temperature. The water temperature feels very similar. Very 100% overcast, very foggy. It's been foggy all morning, but it's kind of getting out of the morning time. It's around 9 o'clock now. Water's clear. I haven't seen an area that didn't have vegetation where I wasn't able to see the bottom so far, and it looked like it was pretty deep out there, a good 10 feet or so. No wake, okay. Alright, so this pond has big boats going fast. I'm okay with that. Oh, here's the channel. They're very shallow over there, and this is where it would be. But you can see sign right here, it says channel. Sign right there, it says channel. You got your red and green port and starboard. It's like we're entering the ocean here, not the not the pond, which should be a lake. Of course, I don't actually really know the difference between a pond and a lake personally. Maybe whoever got to name it named it what they wanted. There are massive spider webs on these channel signs. Are these spiders walking on the water to get here? And then building their webs way out in the middle of nowhere? To them, at least, you know. This is like taking a trek across country to get to here from either side of the shore. If you tell me there's flying spiders, I'm going to turn around and go home and never leave the house again. I know there's flying spiders, but not where I live. We're going to keep it that way, right? Yes, thank you. I am glad we're on the same page. Careful, net. You don't need to be way up there where you're about to tip out. Fix this up. Come on. There we go. Oh, hey, cool. It's just about to have to do it manually. Holy crap. I almost threw myself out of the boat with that cast. Wow. Oh, alright, let's get it together here. Oh, we're hitting vegetation, it feels like. This is an 8.2 gear ratio reel, so when it comes to crankbaits, even though they say burn them, or you can burn them, I don't like to move them so fast. But right now is fall transition, so we have the bass going in from the deep back chasing bait at the shore. So doing that, this might be a good time to put some speed on it. Even though it's really foggy, this place is beautiful. And you can see right in front of us, it looks like hills, like rolling hills, almost like you're in the mountains. And we're about halfway from Boston to where the mountains are in Massachusetts. Not far from Worcester, so basically central Mass, like central. Yeah. So kind of foothills. The Berkshires are in Mass. They're pretty too. So this is the hills are going up here. Nope. So this area was lived in by the Nipmuc tribe of the natives. I don't know a lot about the history, but I should learn a lot about the history. The Nipmuc River, it's not a big river, but the Nipmuc River runs directly behind my home. So that was also Nipmuc area. Part of this pond, we're in Sutton now, but part of this pond goes over to Oxford, which is to the west, and okay, I wasn't sure. Some of it goes, actually the way we're facing right here, goes into Douglas, Mass. And Douglas, Mass actually touches my hometown of Harrisville, Rhode Island. I still got to pay my parking fee here. Well, most of it. I didn't realize this was a pay to park area and only had a $1 bill with me. It's $6 in state or $12 for out. So this is Mass, I'm Rhode Island, so it's 12. That dollar doesn't quite match, so I went and counted the quarters I have, and it actually came out to $10. So I wrote them a nice note onto the envelope saying, hey, I'll pay my balance next time I come here, because I will come back here, there's no question. This is nice. But then when I looked over to where you could put the envelope, it's not going to fit with any quarters in it. So I have my quarters still, paid my $1 with that same note on there. So I'll have to basically double my payment next time I come. But like I said, I will definitely be back. Hopefully I catch a fish, make it well worth it to be back. I'd like to actually see what this looks like in different conditions, like sunny or a little bit of overcast or just, you know, partly cloudy type thing. Especially with those hills, because that just looks very pretty. It's pretty flat behind us where the boat ramp is. A lot of farmland in this area. Say after this cast, we'll probably do one more directly in front of us and check out different spots. One of the cool things about a lipless crankbait, just rip it right out of the grass, and if you happen to rip it right out of the grass in the right spot, you get a reaction strike. Doesn't happen often. Well, yeah, semi-often. Well worth doing regardless. How's that? All right, so now we're really starting to get into the open area of this pond. And it's not very far to that side. I don't know how far it goes to our left. That's it for the right, until you can see the whole shore. But I think that's where it really gets big, on the other side there. I'm gonna head out to open water, which I'm kind of in, but I'm gonna keep throwing this crankbait for a little bit. I can no longer see the bottom, but nothing seems like it's even stained at all for the water. I would imagine that we're pretty deep here. There's a couple really big lakes here, and they get into the multiple hundreds of feet deep. So I could be in 100 feet deep water right here. I don't know. Should maybe start using my fish finder again, because temperature and depth are the only things I really pay attention to on it. I'm gonna go a little bit further and start casting from there. I just want to see how far this to our right goes, because everything I'm seeing right now is about the size of Whiting's pond, which also makes me believe that that opening to the right is where it really starts to open. I know it's not to the left because I came in on that road over there. Oh, time to keep going. I thought I was closer. It almost looks like I can see vegetation at the bottom. I'm just not sure. When I say like vegetation, like, it almost looks like it's just grass that needs to be mowed in somebody's yard down there. Okay, I don't know how big that opening is over there, but they have buoys set up, and almost it looks like it says where the channel is there too. Doesn't say it over here. So we actually have one, maybe 2, 3, and 4 behind us coves here. All right, so I see the end of that over there, because, well, not only is there houses, but I see cars going by. It looks like there's maybe even bank fishing right there too. All right. Well, let's keep going. This is, I think, probably the, other than maybe Lincoln Woods, this is probably the prettiest spot that I've actually kayaked yet. So, being that it's not even 5 minutes further, oh yeah, I can see the bottom there, and I can see it sloping right here. We're gonna stop right here and throw. So we're on a slope. Yeah, it's not far from Whiting's Pond, which I go to on a regular basis. Should be casting right to my right or right to my left. And we're good deep here, a good 10 feet at least. I might want to, well, it looks like we're getting a lot shallower, but I might want to consider a square bill. Let's see here. Drop. So let's see. Okay, so this is 6 or 7 feet, and that's where I lost. But we were also going behind me because we're not moving, but we are slightly moving. We do have some ripples out here, so it's not windy at all, but at least the water's moving a little bit. That helps our cause. You know, we definitely don't want smooth and glass conditions. Very difficult to catch fish when they have no way of being blinded from seeing you. Yeah, it looks like the depths here are all over the place. I'm seeing it go up and go down. And now we look like we're maybe 4 or 5 feet. But the ripples, and there's a breeze now. It's actually pushing us all the way to the other side right there. And I think this is a good thing. We're gonna cover some water this way. Okay, so yeah, I can see the end of that right there. It's about the same size as the cove that we came out of. The one that's over that way, I get the impression is actually very small. And all right, so this place is not nearly the size that I thought. I can see the whole thing. I'm not complaining. It still looks like a great pond, but 273 acres, I assume, was a lot bigger than this. It's not a weedless pond, but there's minimal vegetation here. The Mumford River feeds this. Actually, it feeds from that way where our rod is facing to where the boat ramp was, and then it heads straight towards Whiting's Pond. Those are the two headwaters for this. And this is so far the only one that I see that's almost weedless. You start going to Whiting's Ponds and start heading on the other side of those, you start getting lots of vegetation, and it increasingly becomes more and more as you get to other ponds there. I think vegetation is not bad to fish in. It's just one of those things you need to prepare for. I brought my rain poncho just in case. On the radar, there's rain in the area, but you can't tell if it's going to hit here. And according to the phone app, it says it's raining now. But then not it's supposed to rain again until like 2:30, 3 o'clock-ish. It does appear like the fog is starting to lift. See a ton of American flags here, but not a single one of them that has staff. And today's September 11th. This, of all days, is a great day for it. I'm running into some vegetation here. Not a lot of it, but there's some at the surface. If I start seeing more increase, I'll pull out that chatterbait. Or maybe even that duck. Do I want to try that in open water for a bit? I always prefer fishing in open water, but top water and open water doesn't tend to usually get along all that well. Ooh, got a tap. Trying to do a couple pops to entice something here. Don't just tap it, man. It's tastier than it looks. And it looks tasty. You want it, I promise. You don't know what you're gonna do without it. Loch Ness grass monster here. Seems to be taking us a different way now. This is all new to me, so let's see where we go. I'll ride the train.